All right, when you talk real estate, everybody wants to know what's happening with the dream homes, the high-end stuff, but also the marketplace. Joining us on the show, he's an award-winning realtor, great friend of the show, Seth O'Byrne. Good to have you here, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about that luxury market. It's kind of a fun topic of conversation, but it's also a very different market from what we see in just your traditional median price real estate. What's happening up there?
Yeah, so it's been an interesting time for San Diego. I think we've seen the convergence of two things, right? So San Diego right now is an international market, and we have this new kind of excitement and energy from the international community that is pushing some of these ultra premium luxury listings out the door and getting them sold quickly in San Diego, which they'd have a harder time 10 years ago. At the same time, I do think we're seeing a little bit of a slowing of the luxury market. I don't think trade wars are helping us. Fear of interest rates does affect buyer psychology. So I think those things are interesting. But I think in general, super prime, ultra perfect luxury real estate in San Diego is selling just as quick, if not quicker, than ever.
Well, you have the median home price where we've heard the low inventory thing now for years. You put the home on the market, it's going to sell. When you get to the higher price range, you're talking smarter dollars in a different marketplace altogether. So tailoring an actual marketing plan and a strategy around it, I think, is the real key ingredient. And honestly, I've been traveling the country for the last couple of years launching the show. We handpicked the best realtors in every city. I've never met a better marketer of real estate than what this guy does. Great guy to follow on social media just because it's interesting and entertaining. But talk to me about properties and marketing them. I know you have some on the market right now. I mean, take us up the coast.
Yeah, so almost to the very end of Point Lomas Peninsula, which I think is one of the more interesting coastal land masses in San Diego. It juts right out into the ocean. On one side is the San Diego Bay overlooking Coronado downtown. On the other side is the Pacific Ocean and Sunset Cliffs, which is some of the best surfing beaches in San Diego. So you've got access to yachting, boating, downtown lifestyle, urban retreat stuff, and then you've got the ocean right there. We've got a property, 3516 Hugo, which is very cool. And this property is in Fleet Ridge 2, which means the views are fully protected, which is a big deal. And the views are as close to a postcard of San Diego as you could ever get, sub $2 million. You know, this property is super cute. It's very approachable. I think it's a very friendly beach house, but it has all the modern conveniences you would want. It's got this very nautical, cool kitchen setup. But the views, you're probably looking at $3 or $4 billion in yachts from your kitchen.
Wow.
All of the downtown high rises, including amazing, incredible new ones like Bosa's Pacific Gate and the park in Balboa Park, you know, shimmering windows of downtown, Coronado, Mexico to the south, and the Coronado Islands. And you can see the largest yachts really on the American West Coast come through the main waterway. So, I mean, the view is insane.
In Point Loma, you're close to everything. So take us up the coast. Right? What else you got?
So we've got a lot of great properties, but one of them that I love, which is a really cool property, I think, I believe it's the largest home on the Sea Cliff in Encinitas. It is just about 9,700 square feet, almost a 10,000 square foot, three-story house. Enormous home, very stately, but from the exterior, kind of similar to that property in Point Loma, it's got this Cape Cod vibe, so it's very approachable. So, you know, if you want 10,000 square feet and 7 bedrooms and, you know, 74 feet of ocean frontage with very nearby access to the sand, this is great. But from the outside, it's kind of a sleeper. You wouldn't know that it was so incredible. But from the Sea Cliff, every surfer in Encinitas knows this house. It's famous.
So how do you capture the story of that house, which you just described very authentically here, and how do you create that story and get it out to potential buyers? Earlier you were talking about international buyers. How do we create the story and how do we get it out?
So I think that the beach lifestyle is really romantic, right? And I think when you think beaches, you think one of two things, right? You think this kind of romantic vibe between two people who buy this little home for their life.
Definitely in Encinitas.
Definitely in Encinitas. We thought family. So we actually worked with a local talent agency and created a video where it was a daughter waking up the father in the bedroom in the morning. The sun was just coming up, and he's teaching her how to surf at the beach right in front of the house.
Wow.
And it was fun. We put a really cool filter on it. It was very emotional. It was evocative. It was a very different way of showcasing an almost $10 million property. But we thought that the buyer of a Cape Cod property like this that has 7 bedrooms is probably a family-focused person. So we crafted the marketing around that.
I absolutely love that, man. It's just so many agents these days just create this cookie-cutter plan that their corporation told them how to do, and they're not tailoring it. I think what you called it years ago is bespoke marketing.
Yeah.
And that's years ago. You've coined this thing. Now people are trying to catch up with you as you're blazing new trails. And then you got this property that I saw on social media, which is ridiculous. It's a winery.
Manzanita Ridge Winery.
Yeah, so finish us off with that one.
Yeah, so we just priced it at $2.25 million. This property's on 9 acres.
Outrageous,
No,
right? I mean, $2.25 million.
So this, I joked when we first released the property, the wine that is produced on this vineyard, which is part of the property that's for sale, which you can keep or not keep the vineyard, but it's there.
Wow.
It produces more gold medals than Shaun White. Just think about that, right? I mean, it has so many gold medals for its primarily Zinfandels. You don't realize this, but actually Southern California produces incredible wine.
Mm-hmm.
Manzanita Ridge probably has the best. And we have an amazing Tuscan, very old world home for sale with fountains and secret gardens and walking trails. And you can, if you're a beekeeper, there's a place for your bees. It's on an amazing promontory in Escondido. It's every bit as luxurious as Rancho Santa Fe, but because it's where it is, in this area off a street called Lotus Pond, you can't see any neighbors. Mm-hmm. So if you want to check on your grapes naked, I've got a great house for you.
Naked grape checking.
Which is
Watch out for the bees, though.
We never put that in the MLS. but I think, yeah, look out for the bees. But I think it's amazing. It's 9 rolling hills. It's absolutely stunning. Everyone who's looked at the property is seeking, to have access to the beach in San Diego, but 25 minutes inland, you can't see a soul.
So very private.
Very private. It's a great place, I think, for a fast-paced CEO, someone who's a hardworking person who goes, you know what? By the time I get home from work, I want to turn off the world and live in my own kingdom.
Yeah.
With amazing wine as well.
Fascinating. We got to get you back on the show because I want to know who ends up buying these amazing properties.
Yeah.
Seth O'Byrne, luxury specialist, Sotheby's. Always good to have you on the show, man.
Thank you.
More of the American Dream coming up next. All right, welcome back to the American Dream. One of our favorite guests who truly empowers the very mindset of the American Dream. Good friend, Grant Cardone. Grant, welcome to the show.
Always good to see you, man. Dream big, baby.
Yeah, what do you think of those people who say the American Dream is dead?
Well, look, they're dead. They're dead. They quit. They lost too many times. You mounted up too many losses. I know, I've been there. I gave up on my dreams because I mounted up so many losses and I was surrounded by so many people like me that I gave up on the dream. And a guy told me one day, he's like, look, dude, if you don't work, if you don't show up, if you don't push, the dream will not show up for you.
Yeah, so that's the truth, man. The moment we stop dreaming is the moment I think we are dead, right?
And you got to keep showing up every morning. So I know a lot of people out there just, want to look at the bathroom mirror and say they're going to be rich or they're going to be happy or they're going to be married and they're going to get the beautiful girl or the beautiful guy. But you got to show up in the right places. You got to take action and you got to be willing to give up some stuff.
When you say show up, what do you mean?
I mean, you have to leave your bedroom. You have to leave your living room. You have to leave your address. You might have to leave your city. I've had to leave beautiful San Diego. I lived there for 13 years. I had to leave there. The beauty of San Diego and the La Jolla coastline, I had to leave there to find my wife, to have my kids, to write books, to literally grow my business.
Let's talk about those books, Grant. So you got a new one, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate. This is a new book you just put out there?
Yep. Can't buy it anywhere. The only way you can get it is right here, okay? All you do is handle the shipping. Any of your audience handles the shipping. I'll handle the book. So they can go to, I think it's cardonecapital.com/book. Easy to remember. And it's about creating wealth using real estate. Not all real estate, like not land, not houses, but multifamily, primarily income-producing properties.
So the American Dream is a show that's heavily predicated upon real estate. We travel the entire country, find the best realtors in now 22 cities. Let's talk about that market. So are you bullish on real estate? How do you feel about it?
Well, they say they're not producing any more of it, but when they say that, they start going vertical. So that is a production of more real estate. The real estate I like is a particular asset class, okay, called multifamily or apartments.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people love their home and they think there's money to be made in their home. But let me just suggest to you that if you can make money in a single family home, if you think that's a good investment, imagine if there were 30 homes in one address and you were paid every month as opposed to having to make a payment every month.
Yeah,
So
I think a great place to start for anybody is don't be a renter. Buying a piece of land or your home, building equity, paying down principal, getting tax advantages, raising your family, building community and memories, all that stuff. That's what a home is. When we talk about real estate, I think more on the investment side. So you think that there's good opportunities in these multi-unit properties?
We're becoming a renter nation. So I would tell people, I would just accelerate your thinking there. Don't be a renter. And I would say, no, accelerate to one more level and say, be the landlord. Be a landlord. For instance, I rent where I live, where my family lives, I rent. And I own everything that I can rent to others. So I'm trying to, the goal is to create wealth with real estate. And that means I would be paid to own it, not paid to live there.
For those who would be looking into doing this for the first time, what are the first steps you take? Because obviously when you're biting off a duplex, a fourplex, or you're talking about 20, 30, 40 units, where do you get started for someone who's new to it?
I lay it out in my book, Craig, exactly what property people should be looking for. I would warn people about the duplex and the fourplex and the eightplex. Those are the first properties that went back in 2008, 2009. There's a certain number of properties and a calculation that produce enough cash flow so that you're not the landlord prisoner. You know what I mean? Where you're taking every phone call, you're answering every toilet backup, every termite issue. That's the reason people don't do real estate, because they don't want to deal with tenants.
Sure.
So I've come up with a formula where you can actually create wealth, get income, pay down the debt like you talked about, and sit and wait for the appreciation that's going to come over time. San Diego, by the way, is one of the most fantastic rental markets in the country.
That was my next question. What areas do you like for these multi-units?
Anywhere where the rent delivered to the marketplace is cheaper than owning a home, and where you can offer affordable, I'm talking $1,500 to $2,300 a month rents or lower, and where you don't probably have rent control. I'd be very careful in the California market of rent control, but I would look in high barrier markets, meaning it's difficult to build there and or very expensive to build. I love Texas. I love Florida. San Diego is just a lockout market. It's rents will continue to go higher there, even though the tenants don't like that. It'll be great for landlords long term.
Well, you tried to squeeze an entire book in just a matter of a few minutes, so let's do this, Grant. Anybody who wants to get the free copy of your book, that's a really generous offer. Let's have them reach out to your website, get a free copy of the book, read about it, learn. Grant, thank you so much for coming on The American Dream and sharing some knowledge on investing in real estate. Really appreciate it.
Always good to be with you.
All right, man. That guy is living the American dream, a true success story. Awesome guy. Really, if you want to reach out, hit up his website. You get that book for free. Kind of a cool thing he just gave out there. More of the show coming up next. Well, as you know, the American Dream is a national program where we focus on business, the entrepreneurial spirit, overcoming adversity, finance, the market, all things that are relevant to empowering your American dream. But a big topic of conversation on this show is housing. So what we do is we integrate local, top-producing, award-winning realtors to cover a wide range of topics on that subject, different micro markets, different niche subject matter. Housing is such a big topic, so we're going to bring you a lot of information right now from some of the best in your market. Let's check out these interviews.
Hi everybody, Leslie Dale with RE/MAX Executive. Today I'm going to introduce you to Marley Homes. We've got 2 almost 100% completed and 1 in the stage of construction. So come on and let's take a look. These homes are built by a local builder, Marley Construction Company. Come in, you'll see, they're really terrific. It's a very nice size. You have 9-foot ceilings, crown molding throughout the downstairs, higher baseboard than most builders do. Going through here, we have a pantry and a half bath, and the great room kitchen combination, which I love. It's great for today's living. The room gets wonderful light. Here are the granite countertops. You can select what granite color you want. You get a choice of the cabinet colors. You also get to pick a subway tile for your backsplash. Now, the appliances have been delivered, but the stove is standard as the microwave and dishwasher. You have your dining room for eating, and then you have all this space for living. It is huge. You can easily put 2 sitting areas in here. Here at the top of the stairs, you have a great closet just for extra storage. Has a double closet, raised panel doors, very nice. Great size closet for this size bedroom. And a custom shower, all tiled with the glass doors. These are standard features. And this home lists for $215,900. It's an excellent price. Next, we're going to the next house. Now we're seeing, this is the identical unit as far as floor plans goes, but it looks entirely different. We're coming to the dining room. This is this table seats 4 easily. You have plenty of room to put a leaf in it and add chairs for up to 8 people with very, very comfortable seating. And all the homes feature recessed LED lighting in the kitchens, which is terrific. You'll never change a light bulb. They're good for at least 10 years. These cabinets are a different color. The walls are different color. The homes feature LTV vinyl planking, and we have samples of that along this wall. But you get a good idea of just how big this room is. And then along here are some samples of the flooring. And this is not all the colors, this is just some, these are the most popular that they found. Here's the walk-in closet in the master. Racks on 3 walls, and here's that vanity. And then the master bathroom. Again, the custom shower with the glass door. The water closet or toilet is in its own space, which is very nice. This is a very big walk-in closet. You got racks down both sides, and you have a window in here, which is terrific. First you think you don't like it, but trust me, you will. See all the gables and the different treatments? This house, they have built these very well to make them maintenance-free. See, now we're seeing a 4-bedroom home that has a bedroom and bath on the main level. They're also developing a master on the main. Now you get to see how the houses are built. Hope you enjoyed the tour of Marley Homes here in Village of Parkside in Gastonia, North Carolina. I'm Leslie Dale with RE/MAX Executive, 704-813-6511. Look for us on Saturday nights at 7:30 on CBS. Now back to you in California. Thank you.
Welcome back to The American Dream. Today we're talking about the importance of staging, and I've got 2 really special guests with me today. Kristen Bernard, she's a realtor and broker with the Beth Smith Shuey team with Keller Williams Realty South Park. She's brought with her a very special guest, Lisa Glass. She's an accredited staging professional and the owner of Details Home Staging and Redesign. Lisa and Kristen, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks so much for having us.
Hi, Kara. Thank you.
Of course. So we are covering some awesome stuff. I want to know, what are the top benefits of staging a home for sale?
Yeah, I think it's something people are talking about, right? And I think that it's important for sellers to realize the benefits of staging. It helps buyers visualize themselves in that house. It helps them see the space in ways that they may not have even thought about a space. One of the things we're seeing nationally is 88% of homes that are staged are selling at or above list price. So it's super important. It's something that I, as a listing agent, am super passionate about. So I'm happy to have Lisa here with us to talk about it.
Awesome. So I know.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah, and Lisa, you're the perfect person to talk to because, Kristen, you're the one who's talking to the sellers. They get excited, they want to stage, but then they say, hey, I have a 5-bedroom house. Lisa, what are the most important rooms to stage for a property to sell at the best price?
Well, Kara, there are 3 rooms that are the most important to stage, and the first 2 are the living room and the kitchen because they are the main living areas in the home and they're where the homeowners entertain and where they spend most of their time. The other room that is very important to stage is the master bedroom because the homeowner, of course, wants to have a luxurious space to relax in at the end of the day.
That makes a lot of sense. It's those really important rooms that the buyers are looking for that elicit that emotional response and therefore that offer, which makes sense as to why that stat that you mentioned earlier, Kristen, is probably so high. So as a seller, what are the most impactful changes that a seller can make to prepare their home for sale?
Well, first of all, one of the really impactful changes homeowners can make is painting the inside of the house. If the colors inside of the home are dated or if the paint finish on the walls is worn or has nicks and dings or holes, the whole entire inside of the house really should be painted if it's not in great condition. And if for a minimal investment, you can make a huge impact. Also by changing the paint color to a lighter color, changing out dated paint colors, dark colors, and extremely bold colors, you can really make a big difference in the appeal of the home. Another big change that can be made to the home that is really a necessity and more of a maintenance issue is the flooring. If the carpet is extremely worn or not in good condition and has a lot of stains or is dated, the carpeting should be changed out. In addition to that, the home should be extremely clean. Decluttering not only includes putting away personal papers and other personal items, but it also includes removing very small art pieces that may be hung all over the walls or little items that might be sitting around on the floor throughout the home that can be a distraction to buyers when they come in to see the house.
Lisa, you're touching on great points. I think a buyer wants to be able to see themselves in the home. So rather than seeing somebody else's photos on the wall, I guess a good way to summarize that is less is more.
Absolutely.
And Kristen, I know you've got a great listing on Ayrshire. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's in the South Park location, 3916 Ayrshire Place. This home was staged. It's 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, a little over 4,100 square feet. Grand staircase, curved staircase as you walk in, grand foyer. It's just beautiful, great for entertaining, and recently reduced to $699.
Awesome. Well, you ladies seem like an awesome team. Thanks again for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us, and thanks for being on The American Dream.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for watching The American Dream. We'll be right back with more. Next on The American Dream, we're speaking with 2 attorneys at law. I've got with me Tracy Frick, Esquire, and Christina Lizzio, Esquire. Tracy and Christina, thanks so much for being here with us.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you very much.
So I've got an important question. When there's a real estate closing, how should the seller on the transaction receive their funds?
All right, so in North Carolina, it's important to note that it is legally required that we record the deed and the mortgage, which is called the deed of trust in North Carolina, prior to dispersing funds, and that includes commissions and seller proceeds. So after that, after we record, which would be after signing all of the documentation on both the seller side and the buyer side, we are happy to wire the money to the seller if they provide us with a voided check or with their account and routing number at the closing table. We are also happy to have them them pick up at one of our locations, or we can mail it to them.
Awesome.
It is a little bit different in South Carolina. In South Carolina, you do not have to record before the attorney can disperse funds. So it's possible to actually for the seller to receive their proceeds at the table, as opposed to waiting until after the deed and deed of trust is recorded. But whatever you do, make sure that if you're wiring, that you verify it via telephone with the attorney you're working with. Whether you're sending a wire or receiving, it's very, very important to take those steps.
This is really good information. Thank you so much for sharing, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
You just heard from award-winning realtors about your marketplace. It's one thing to find your dream home. It's another thing to finance it. I've traveled the country to find the best mortgage experts in every city. You're going to hear from yours in a Mortgage Minute right now. Let's check it out.
It's time now for our Mortgage Minute. We're going to speak with Lisa Marie Shapiro. She's a senior mortgage planner with the Shapiro team with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Lisa, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Kara, for having me on.
Of course. So we are going on a great topic. Tell me why using a local lender is so important.
For me, I think having a local lender is so important because it really sets me on fire when I hear people talk about, oh, I can do this 8-minute mortgage approval. And I think it takes a lot more than that when you're looking to do one of the largest financial transactions of your life. You know, it really deserves a phone call and not something that you simply do online. A local lender can also ask the right questions. So what are your what is your income? What are your assets? What do you want your mortgage payment to look like? Do you have a down payment? Do you need help with that? Are you in touch with the best realtor for your needs right now? There's so many questions that goes into it, as well as loan programs itself. There's a lot of local loan programs that some of your online lenders have no idea about, and it's really a better fit for the client. So having a local lender is super important these days.
It sounds like it's that personal touch that really makes a difference. So Lisa, thanks so much for sharing.
Thanks so much, Kara.
That's all for today's episode of The American Dream. Please breathe oxygen into this message and help us combat negative media. How do you do that? Visit us online, visit our website, social media. We'd love to hear from you, and thank you for sharing our content. Cheers to your American Dream, and we'll see you next week.